Kerry Boulton is Australia's most respected exit strategy advisor and CEO of the Exit Strategy Group. Welcome to this week's segment.
One of the things that I touch on in my new book that's coming up in the next few months is in fact some of these hurdles that you're going to need to leap over. And some of them that I've come across are what may seem really basic to you, but there's a few that I just want to cover right now. And at the very base of it all is in fact the owner's failure to plan for the sale. And that really is the number one reason that businesses don't sell. You know, there's some really scary statistics that come out of the US, and there's no reason for us to really think that it is any different for Australia. Even though the actual numbers might be different, the percentages are pretty much the same. And it's only 20 to 25% of small businesses that are ever sold. So planning is the most important thing that you can do. And as I've said before, if you don't spend enough time and enough resources planning for your sale, you're not likely to be successful. That's not what I'm on about. I want you to be the successful ones that actually do stand above the crowd. So that's the number one reason that businesses don't sell. It's because you fail to plan. One of the other reasons that come along is really low or inconsistent gross margins. So in some of the business owners that I've chatted to, I'm finding that they don't really even have a handle on some of the margins and the numbers that are actually running in the business. So when I do a health check with you, this is an area that we really go into quite deeply to work out what the numbers are and where the consistencies are throughout the last couple of years, 2 to 3 years. Again, this is one of the reasons that you need to give yourself enough time, because when you have to make changes to make your business far more attractive, then you need time to implement and put those systems and processes in place. So if you haven't got consistent gross margins, you're not making it easy for the next person who comes along to be able to say, yes, I want this business, and yes, I know how to grow this business. One of the other major hurdles is the fact that you've got unrealistic price expectations. You know, this is a bit like selling a house in many respects, so it's quite often an analogy that people can really relate to. The vendor or the person who's selling the house often has an inflated idea of what the value really is. Well, you know what? Business owners are quite often the same. You really have to work hard to make sure that your business is worth every cent that you're asking for it. When you sell it, it should be really joyous and be an occasion that has celebration. So knowing and understanding the realistic value before you decide to sell is one of the most important planning steps that you can actually take. Again, you know, one of the unfortunate reasons that people have to sell is that they're forced to sell. And this is often about not having considered all of the contingencies that might come up from time to time. In my book, I talk about them as the dastardly Ds, you know, and sadly, I've experienced many of those throughout my business career. But this is something that can be addressed when you think about it a little more clearly, put in place the agreements that you need to have, double check to make sure what your insurances cover. But when you're in a position where you're forced to sell, that's when you're not actually going to get the most for your business. It's going to be almost like a fire sale. So best thing you can do is to sit down, get a realistic valuation of the business, understand the tax implications as well of any sort of sale, and make sure that your own personal financial situation is taken care of if you happen to find yourself in the position where you actually have to make a move fairly quickly. One of the other areas that's often crucial that you find that often can be a barrier is in fact not having adequate second level management. So buyers want to make sure that they can rely on the business to run successfully without you being around. I think I've mentioned it before in some of my other blogs that the reliance on the key manager, of course, is something that actually detracts and takes away value from the business. So it's really important to make sure that you can set the business up to be able to run successfully without you, but also to make sure that you do have employees who can help deal with any difficult issues that may arise, and who are well qualified to be able to make sure the business can run without you being around. So I hope you have found those helpful to be able to think about over the next little while.
If you don't have a copy of Kerry's new book, The Uncensored Truth About Exit Strategies, please visit freeexitstrategybook.com.au.